Hello, ladies and gents. This is Mike Headley on the Headley Group Real Estate Show. This is a podcast designed for real estate professionals who's thinking about getting a career in real estate or who's already been in the business. We'll learn some great tips and tricks from the professionals and the veterans. Continue to tune in. Hey, ladies and gents, we are back on the Headley Group Real Estate Show. When I say we got a great one for you, we have a nice one for you today. We have our very own real estate professional who decided after a year being into the business, that's why you newbies, you got into the business 6 months ago, 3 months ago, a year ago, you can learn a great deal from her. She comes with a host of experience in terms of being a certified planner as well as a wedding expert. So I haven't explained all of the good stuff, but I know she does some great things. So a while back, when I first met LaShonda, and by the way, she was my first client in terms of buying a piece of property. I've always encouraged her to do real estate. And she decided to get a license a year ago. And she said, let me couple that with all the great things that she's doing. So let's give a warm welcome to our very own LaShonda Stone. How you doing?
Hey, how are you?
Oh man, listen, this is a great thing, and we finally got you on the show. We said we want to help and promote our very own, as well as other brokers, to pretty much get it out there. Because one great thing I like about you is that you don't mind being in front of the camera. You are not bashful at all.
No.
Okay.
You're good friends. Me and the camera are very good friends.
That's right. That's a good thing here. So, LaShonda, now we're going to dive into this thing here. And you are a proud homeowner for some years now.
Yes.
You know, you've been doing all these other great things, and we're going to dive into your other professions. What sparked that urge outside of myself, but what really sparked it to say, let me get into real estate to help with everything else that I'm doing?
For me, I've always had the gift of being creative, and I love helping people. I love to put a smile on a person's face and being creative. So first of all, I had to discover my passion and what I really wanted to do, because I had been to school for so many different things, but I wasn't successful at any of them because it was not my passion. So what sparked me to get into real estate? Well, we'll have to back it up, because what sparked me to get into houses was interior design. I've always wanted to do interior design because I am a licensed interior designer. So I've always wanted to do the 5-star hotels. So I knew that you had to have certain credentials to do that. So while I was in school at Salem College, I've always known I wanted to design homes. And I've always had 3 things that I wanted to do: interior design, wedding event designing, and wedding event planning, and real estate. Those are one of my 3 things that connected together. So real estate was the very last thing that I had accomplished, and you know the story behind that. Of course, yes, you encouraged me to get into real estate years ago, and I was, didn't want to do it. This is after I had graduated, but we're here. I've accomplished all 3. I'm an interior designer. I am a event designer, as well as certified event planner, and now a real estate agent, realtor.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, go ahead. I'm listening. I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead.
Well, the fact that you have so many notches up under your belt, and the great thing about it is that each one of them complement each other.
Exactly.
Right. So has that part come into play yet? Whereas though you help somebody with a wedding, you fix their home, and then they got them on the contract, they purchased the home, or you in the process with that?
Right. The American dream is for when couples meet, they want to get married, then purchase a home. So my thing is to connect all 3 of them together. So of course I can be your wedding planner first. Couples meet, they want to get married, so I'll be your planner and your designer for that. And after that, most couples want to purchase after they get married. So that's when the real estate comes into play. And sometimes the roles are reversed, and they'll find a house first and then get married. But either way, I'm on either side of it, whether they do it first or do it last. I'm still going to be the planner, designer, then the agent, or the agent, planner, designer. So they still work hand in hand either way they go. So yes.
Well, that I like that part of it. I mean, you give that expertise of every woman, right? Because I know so many people who have a dream. I want to be an interior designer. I want to do real estate. But the fact that you couple that together, kudos to you on that.
Yes.
You've been licensed for how long now?
It'll be July the 1st will be your first year.
Be an anniversary, right?
My anniversary.
Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to talk to the newbies, people getting into the real estate business, people who are in real estate school. What insight or what, as far as you going through the class in terms of what you're actually experiencing, how does the two of them mesh together?
Well, for me, I would say anybody that's getting into real estate, you have to have a mindset of not to quit. Because the class itself is hard for me. And I started 6 or 7 years ago. I tried to get my license then, but at the time I was doing the events, and I had a lot on my plate. Okay. So I couldn't totally focus on the class because I had a lot of outside things going on that I couldn't focus on studying and learning the material that they were dumping, because it's a fast class. So they was dumping a load of information on you. But like I said, I had a lot of distractions outside that class. So 6 years ago, I didn't quit, but I just paused. I paused from focusing on the class. I never quit it because I knew I was going to go back. I just didn't know when, but I had to get some things in order. So fast forward, you and I had a conversation, and you stayed on my back pretty much. It was like, hey, when you get back into real estate. So I finally went ahead and did it. But what I did, I sacrificed everything and put it on pause and focus on the real estate. Now, when I took the class, you hear a lot of outside things about real estate class. So I took the class, and when I took the class, I took all the nuggets that people were telling me about the class, and it took me 3 times to get through the class. But like I said, you have to go in with a mindset not to quit. And even though I went through it 3 times, I still learned more and more material each time that I went to each class. Some things I didn't catch in the first class, I took it when I took it the second time. Even the third time, I caught on more and more, and I started understanding the concept. So it made me more excited to even go back, because I felt like I was getting it this time, because I put all the outside things on pause and I was solely focusing on real estate, and that helped me a lot. But I still, like I said, I had a mindset I was not going to quit this time, and I was going to get licensed. That was the last thing on my bucket list to do, and I made it happen through the grace of God. I made it happen.
Well, one thing, you said so many great nuggets there. I want to unpack some of it. You didn't quit. You didn't give up. And one of the great things that I like what you shared is that you sacrifice. Actually, I was thinking about that today on the drive here. I think that is one ingredient that a lot of people don't want to do, right?
Right.
So it's like, but you made a concerted effort, and you said, I'm going to commit myself until I actually pass this. So during that process, when you were studying, late nights, the grinding, was there any part of it where you said, I'm gonna quit? Was there 10%, 15%, even though you passed, but did that seep in there? Ever?
Yes, absolutely. I'm gonna keep it real with you.
That's how we like it on the show.
Right. So the second time, I was like, I needed a break. I said I needed a break. That's what it was. Because I did get frustrated, because it was something that I wasn't catching, because I'm more of a hands-on person. I'm not a book person. So I'm more of a hands-on person, show me type of person. So, but I had to understand these terms and these concepts and laws. So it was something that I wasn't getting. So I just said, what do I need to do different that's going to help me understand that one part that I wasn't getting? And I started doing group study sessions I started researching and downloading all types of apps, anything that would help me to learn real estate. I did it. So I had to plug in. I really had to plug in to what is real estate and what is real estate about. Okay. And that's what helped me.
Hey guys, thank you for watching our show. We're going to interrupt you real quickly. We are in the business of referrals. If you know someone looking to buy or sell, residential or commercial, here in the North Carolina area, refer us. We really appreciate that. Mm-hmm. So, and I don't know if you answered it, because you said so many good nuggets. The fact that what you learned in school, and now you're out in the field actually practicing, how much does that mesh?
I'll say what I learned in class, a lot of, especially with the contracts, with 2T form, because we actually did 2T forms, went over 2T forms a lot, but actually having one in front of you and filling it out and knowing the terms when you're talking to other agents and your buyers, and knowing those terms really came into play, because it was a language that I never spoke, but I was familiar with it when I was talking to agents and when I was dealing with the contracts. Even though I still had questions, a lot of those terms and a lot of those concepts kicked in, like when you put an offer in and it has to be conveyed back. And once you get that response, once it's conveyed, that's when we're in a contract, once it's conveyed back to the other side, because we did a lot of role playing in class. And those role playing, what helped me understand the process of what a real estate transaction is about. So you said what was that? I hope that answered your question. Oh no, it did. Well, the thing is I wanted, because you'll get somebody on the other side of this who's thinking about getting to school, and they really want to. People's probably coming in from all different directions, but someone like yourself who's got that first year up under their belt might shed some light on that. So let's transition into that. You had a closing already. Right? Yes. So let's transition to a closing that you had. Was it a smooth one, nice, easy going, or was it a rocky one? I would say at first it was smooth sailing, but towards the end, because that transaction was contingent on another transaction,
Hear that? Dive into that. That's important.
Yeah, so if at first it was fairly easy. I had a client that I pretty much had to guide him and almost like babysitting him, because he was a soft-spoken person. So I had to be the voice for him, because I was representing him. His interest was always my first and it's a priority. Say that. So so at first it was smooth sailing, but at the end, because we amended the contract so many times, because the sellers was needing more time to move out, because the person that they were waiting on needed more time to move out. So it was like a ripple effect for everybody. So it became not frustrating to me, but frustrating to my client, because he was ready to move. So, but he couldn't move until the sellers moved out, but they couldn't move until those sellers moved out. So it was a ripple effect for everything. So that was the frustrating part. It wasn't a hard transaction. It was just a transaction that we was ready to move on, but we couldn't, because everything was contingent of another, if that makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense. How many parties was involved in that kind of transaction? Three different parties.
Three different parties, and the last party was moving to Georgia.
And where were you at? In the middle or the end or the beginning?
We were at the beginning.
Okay, you at the beginning.
We was at the beginning of the transaction, and then those sellers, and then it was another seller, the sellers that was moving to Georgia. So
gotcha. But and the great thing about that is that actually when LaShonda was going through that deal, I said, I'm happy she going through that, because I want her, that is the best way to get the learning experience, is when you're actually going through it. You can't get that from no book, no mentor, or seeing somebody else. You actually got to go through it. But what happens is it made her much better, I think.
Right, because the class didn't teach you that. So being in the field and actually experienced that, I actually loved it. I really loved it because it was something that I was gaining information from. So even though it was smooth sailing and it kind of got a little rocky at the end, I actually enjoyed it because I learned so much out of that transaction. My first transaction too.
First transaction, exactly, which is awesome.
Mhm.
So now that we see that because we want to dive into you, even though the show is about real estate, but we still
Yes.
want to highlight them areas of your expertise, right? So,
Yes.
so tell us about them strengths in the wedding industry. And actually,
Okay.
we had the young lady on our show, Marriage to Wedding to Mortgage. What was the show?
Yes.
Married to Mortgage,
Yes.
exactly, which
Yes.
was fabulous.
Yes.
And I told you, I think you're a big fan of the show as well, right?
Yes. Yes. I had already watched it before you even aired it on the show.
So you see that? Beautiful. So we want to highlight your strengths in terms of walk us down that lane. Like what exactly someone says, hey, I want to get married. I need your services. What did they get?
So someone reach out to me, a potential client reach out to me, I pretty much just give them my process to book me to even start, even having a conversation. So I just tell them about my consultation process. And in that consultation process, I let them know my fee for consultation. And we'll schedule a date and we'll meet. And when we meet, I just ask them a ton of questions and budget, color scheme, venue, guest count, venue selection, all type of questions that help me with their vision, because I do planning and design service, as well as if we're a good fit, because sometimes you're not a good fit for a client. If I'm not a good fit, and it's the same thing with real estate, if I'm not a good fit for a client, then I'll let them know up front, because I'm not going to waste my time or their time, because I know the quality of work that my company provides. So some people love it and some people, they want it but they just can't afford it. So I do refer them out if we're not a good fit, but I still help them any way I can. Not too much, but I'll still help them any way I can to get the ball rolling with their planning process. So, but if we are a good fit, we'll move forward, do the consultation, do all the logistics, the contract, deposit, and then we'll move forward and just start the planning process. Pretty much do all of it because we're a full production company. So,
so do that segue into interior design?
Yes, because it's a lot of things that umbrella underneath interior design. You can do residential interior design, commercial interior design, staging for real estate. All of that is interior design. Is being creative. You're designing something in all those areas. So it do link up with interior design because you're being creative.
I like that. I like the fact, like I said, that you do multiple things, and it just gives you, it just makes you stick out from the average real estate professional, interior design person, wedding planner, because you have all these things up on your belt. So
yeah, can I say one thing?
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, one thing I did want to point out, because when I was in college, I didn't have an opportunity to really dive into my curriculum, because when I was doing my internship, a lot of people were shutting us down and was giving us no's. So it was very challenging trying to get my internship done, because we really don't have a lot of interior design firms in the Triad area at all. So, but it was still some companies that was out here that was we could have did internship for, but like I said, we was getting a lot of no's. So I finally found someone that I did my internship. But one thing that I said I was going to do with my company, with my event planning and design company, is to open the door for those younger generations or even adults to come in and get their feet wet, and to come in to learn hands-on experience, tap into it. Because I know how I felt when I was a student at Salem College, and I didn't get that opportunity like I want to with the companies that I want to. So I reached out. I've always reached out to universities and colleges and invited these students to come in and shadow me on projects. One student I still keep in contact. I tell her to this day, I will hire you, because she was very committed and she loved what she was doing when she was shadowing me. But I've opened my doors to so many universities for students to come in and shadow me on projects, just to learn, just to get their feet wet, and to gain more knowledge hands-on in this event planning business. So that was one thing I did, that's one thing that we do with this, our company.
Wow. I mean, there's so many good nuggets right there, and I applaud you for reaching back, right? And I think that's one of the true blessings, because again, if you get the insight, you get the power, so to speak. Why not reach back and help others?
Right.
Let's talk about that, this real estate career, right? And when you were in the process of joining a good firm, and you said to yourself, everybody's calling me, everybody's pulling at you because you're a hot commodity. Right? You was a new agent, and everybody wanted a piece of you in terms of helping you with your career. What made you choose the firm that you're currently at now, and how has that process been thus far?
For me, I'm big on loyalty. Let's say that first. While I was in class, they had a ton of real estate firms that came in and spoke with the class. Of course, selling the firm, offering all their incentive packages, cuts, all that good information. And for me, I did sit in and I did listen. I just,
You're
listen.
Supposed to. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. So I did listen, even though I already knew where I was headed to, but I am big on connections. If I'm a good, like I said, if it's a good fit for me, client, same thing with me in the firm. So what made me come with the Headley group is because of I call it the package, the package for the agent. It was just the best package that was for me. I did want to work with a Black-owned firm. That was big for me as well. So the package, the family environment, just being more relaxed at the firm. I want to be myself. I don't work for anybody I feel like I'm uptight. And because I asked a ton of questions. So that's the only way I'm gonna learn. If I don't ask, I'm not gonna know. So I need somebody that was gonna have patience with me as I'm learning. Even though I've been helping you with real estate for years. When you was doing what at the other firm, but for me, being an agent, that's totally different from what I was doing years ago. So I still needed somebody to hold my hand until I got it. And that was very imperative to me, to make sure that somebody was going to have patience with me. Not saying that they wouldn't, because I didn't work with them, but like I said, connection when the representative was coming in to speak to the class, it wasn't a good fit for me. I wanted a family environment that I wanted to work with. That was important to me.
And the reason why I asked that, because again, everybody could do shameless plugs, but I really wanted to get your spin on it and honestly how you felt, because I think a lot of times we fall victim to big is better, right?
Right.
Well, I think that you kind of dive in, see if the experience fits you, and again, if it doesn't, you do an exit strategy. You got to do what's best for you, right? So one thing, I do commend you sharing that, because again, it may shed some light on someone else who's watching.
Right.
You might say, well, at least let me see what they have to offer, and just instead of just canceling out. And that goes with any firm, right? Man, we like I said, we commend you on that. Quick commercial break. If you're interested in a career in real estate, or you're a seasoned vet, and you might want to change, new environment, you don't like the atmosphere you're in, the Headley Group Realty could be there to assist you with your career. What do we offer? Great culture, great environment, leads, and an awesome commission structure. Let us be there to support your business. One thing, you got to be in the state of North Carolina. Let's get back to the show. Okay, Shauna, hey, listen, you've passed so many great information on to us, to the audience. This is very delightful and as well as inspiring to other women, men, young girls, young boys. They can kind of pick up what you're saying and run with that. So,
yes.
Is there a question that I didn't ask that you want to answer?
I think just being transparent about the real estate class, having patience when you sign up for the class, and be free and open and ask questions in the class. That's the first thing that I do, since I'm a quote unquote rookie, newbie in the industry. I just would like encourage like people to not to be afraid to meet people, ask questions in class. Don't just go to class and be silent, because silence is not going to get you anywhere. It's not going to answer the questions, the unknown questions that you may have, and not to quit. My thing is, when I talk to people about real estate, one guy told me he was scared, and I was like, why are you scared? He was like, because I'm not a talker. And then I would say that you have to have tough skin for this industry. This is not for the weak or those who are timid. Is just not for those type of people. But can you learn and can you discover things that you may be afraid of in this industry? Of course. Experience is the best teacher. So that was what I told him. Don't let fear keep you from learning something that you want to learn. But he's just so scared because of the outside things that he's hearing about real estate. You know, you got to talk, you got to negotiate, you know, he just heard all these bad things about it. So you can't walk into anything, having fear. So I'm just big on just being transparent with people, when they come to me and ask me questions, whether it's with real estate or whether it's with events, I'm transparent because I want to help those type of people that want to get into it, but it's something just holding them back. So yeah.
Got you. So we're going to ask you this. We ask every guest this: 2 good, great golden nuggets, right? So
yes.
It's a scripture, a book, a poem, something inspiring that gets you going every day. What are them 2?
My first thing, I'm big on energy. I'm really big on affirmations. So I would say, just always be free and clear of any type of distraction. Just always keep a positive mindset. Just always put your goals, your dreams, anything, your visions, put it on paper. Write it down, make it plain. The Bible speaks very clearly of that. Always have a vision board. Anything that you see every day, in the bathroom, I write on my mirror all the time with my lipstick or with a marker. Just things that I'm trying to achieve, and put dates beside them. And I have an affirmation that I say every morning. I always start my day off positive. So just always have those positive thoughts, and those positive, and just keep good positive energy around you. So you'll be productive.
Got you. Well, you know something, LaShonda? You have passed on some great insights, some great jewels. And we want to thank you for being on the Headley Real Estate Show. And actually, this is your second time.
It's my second show.
Second show. Actually, the first time you was going to use a buyer. You wasn't licensed. So, that's when I was kind of getting the show going into it, 2018. But we want to thank you for being on the show. And again, we'll have all your information. And the show notes, how they be able to reach you, to use you for wedding, interior designing, and ultimately real estate services. I'm going to thank LaShonda Schoen, on the Headley Real Estate Show. We'll see you all next time. Take care.
Bye.